Good evening, YouTube. Today we are solving equations with roots and radicals. Please like, comment, subscribe, and donate to support the channel. My Cash App is with the $ up front, Fantastic Baseball. Here we see square root of 5 plus x minus square root of 4x plus 9 equals -2. Okay, please let this marinate. And I have other ways to donate to support the channel as well on PayPal, mathcoursetutor1@gmail.com, on Current with the tilde sign up front, Online Math Tutor 2022, Chime with the $ up front, Online Math Tutor 2023, Cash App with the $ up front, Fantastic Baseball, and on SOFI, mathcoursetutor1@gmail.com. Let's get started here. So, square root of 5 plus x minus square root of 4x plus 9 is equal to -2. First, we want to move one of the square roots to the right-hand side. And notice there is a minus sign here, so I want to add the square root of 4x plus 9 to the right-hand side. So we must add that to both sides of the equation. Whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other. So now we will have square root of 5 plus x is equal to -2 plus square root of 4x plus 9. Now we must square both sides of the equation to undo the square root. So square root of 5 plus x and then square it. And then we must put parentheses around -2 plus square root of 4x plus 9 because we're squaring the whole right side as well. Okay? So when you square a square root, the object comes out in the form of 5 plus x on the left-hand side, and then -2 plus square root of 4x plus 9 squared. We will write this twice. -2 plus square root of 4x plus 9 times -2 plus square root of 4x plus 9. Okay. Now we must distribute. Okay. So outer, outer, inner, inner. Okay. So on the right-hand side, we're going to obtain -2 times -2, and then -2 times square root of 4x plus 9, which will turn to a minus. So -2 square root of 4x plus 9. Then the inner, square root of 4x plus 9 times -2. So again, -2 square root of 4x plus 9. And then plus square root of 4x plus 9 times square root of 4x plus 9. So plus square root of 4x plus 9 times the square root of 4x plus 9. Okay, we will rewrite that again. So -2 times -2 -2 square root of 4x plus 9 minus 2 square root of 4x plus 9, then plus square root of 4x plus 9 times the square root of 4x plus 9. And then we bring down the left-hand side of the equation, 5 plus x, 5 plus x. Okay, please have that marinate there. Now, negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. Minus 2 square root of 4x plus 9 minus 2 square root of 4x plus 9 is going to equal minus 4 square root of 4x plus 9. Okay? And then square root of 4x plus 9 times square root of 4x plus 9, in which will equate to plus the square root of 4x plus 9 squared. And then on the left-hand side, 5 plus x. So we bring down the 5 plus x is equal to 4 minus 4 square root of 4x plus 9. And then we're squaring a square root, so the opposite comes out, so plus 4x plus 9. Okay, let's have that marinate there. Okay. So now we want to subtract to both sides of the equation. Minus 4x to both sides. And then we could put a 1 in front of this x here because 1 times x is x. And then we can subtract 4 to both sides. Okay. So that's going to leave us 1 minus 3x. 1x minus 4x is negative 3x, which will equal negative 4 square root of 4x plus 9, and then plus 9. Okay? Then subtract 9 to both sides. So 1 minus 9 is going to give us negative 8 minus 3x is equal to negative 4 times the square root of 4x plus 9. Okay. And let's rewrite this on the back here. Negative 8 minus 3x is equal to negative 4 square root of 4x plus 9. Now we need to square both sides again, so we must first put negative 8 minus 3x in parentheses and negative 4 square root of 4x plus 9 in parentheses. Now we can square both sides. So we write this twice because it's to the power of 2 in reference to negative 8 minus 3x. And then on the other side, negative 4 square root of 4x plus 9 written twice. Okay. Now we must FOIL on the left hand side. Outer, outer, inner, inner. So -8 times -8. Then -8 times -3x. Minus 3x times -8. And then minus 3x times a -3x. Okay. Is equal to -4 times -4 is 16 times the square root of 4x plus 9 squared. Okay. Let's have that marinate. So let's rewrite this again. -8 times -8 minus 8 times -3x minus 3x times -8 minus 3x times -3x is equal to 16 square root of 4x plus 9 squared. So 64, a minus and a negative, so turns to positive, so plus 24x, and again plus 24x, and then -3x times -3x is going to turn to plus 9x squared, and then equals 16 times square root of 4x plus 9 squared. So the object comes out of 4x plus 9 times 16. Okay. Combine like terms, 24x and 24x is 48x. So 64 plus 48x plus 9x squared. And then we must FOIL again on the right hand side. 16 times 4x plus 16 times 9. Okay. So now we are in business here. So 16 times 4x is 64x. And 16 times 9 should be 144. Yes, so plus 144. And then bring down the left-hand side, 64 plus 48x plus 9x squared. Okay. So we must subtract 64x to both sides and subtract 144 because we want to set the equation equal to 0. Okay, so 64 minus 144 is going to equal -80. 48 minus 64 is going to equal minus 16, so minus 16x plus 9x squared is equal to 0. Okay, so now we must put in descending order. So 9x squared minus 16x minus 80 is equal to 0. So we want to factor by grouping. So multiply the outer terms. So negative 720x squared, 9x squared times -80. So must multiply to equal negative 720 and add to equal negative 16. So negative 36 times 20 is negative 720. and negative 36 plus 20 is equal to negative 16. So we have it there. So this is going to be negative 36x and 20x. And then we bring down our outer terms. So 9x squared minus 36x plus 20x minus 80 is equal to 0. So we want to begin to factor. On the left-hand side, a 9x comes out. And then on this side, a 20 will come out. Okay, so when we factor 9x out, we're left with x minus 4, because 36 divided by 9 is 4. And then when we factor out a 20, we're going to be left with x minus 4. Now that we have the same factor on both sides, we can continue. This is called the greatest common factor. So it's going to finish up with x minus 4 times 9x plus 20. Okay, let's have that marinate there for a second. Now continuing on, let's go back to that. You got to put our equal to 0 there. So x minus 4 times 9x plus 20 is equal to 0. So we set each piece equal to 0. And 9x plus 20 equal to 0. X minus 4 is equal to 0. Then we solve for x. So we want to add 4 to both sides here. And we get x is equal to 4. And subtract 20 to both sides. 9x is equal to negative 20. And then divide by 9. X is equal to negative 20 over 9. Only one of these answers will work when plugging back into the radical equation. Sometimes they both work and sometimes they don't work. When they both don't work, then you have no solution because both solutions are considered extraneous. Here, one solution is extraneous and I will show you why, and the other one will work. So let's go back to the beginning equation because we can't stop at the answers. We have to plug it in to the original problem. So square root of 5 plus x minus square root of 4x plus 9 is equal to negative 2. So let's substitute 4 into the equation. So 5 square root of 5 plus 4 minus square root of 4 times 4 plus 9 is equal to negative 2. Okay? So square root of 5 plus 4 is the square root of 9 minus square root of 16 plus 9 equals negative 2. Okay, so square root of 9 is equivalent to 3, then minus square root of 25 equals negative 2. So 3 minus square root of 25 is 5. Is equal to negative 2. So negative 2 is equal to negative 2. And that is true. Okay. So that proves x equals 4 is a solution. So we can go ahead and circle that. Okay. And now we have to check the other solution of negative 20 over 9. And let's verify on our calculator. So now let's input this on the calculator and we can verify as well. So let's clear this out. So the square root of 5 plus negative 20 over 9 minus square root of 4. That should be the square root of 4. Let's backspace it here. So square root of 5 plus negative 20 over 9, and then minus square root of 4 times negative 20 over 9, and then plus 9. And you see how it is equivalent to 1.3 repeating. Okay? So that shows it does not equal the expected value. So square root of 5 plus negative 20 over 9 minus square root of 4 times negative 20 over 9 plus 9 equals negative 2. And then so 1.333 repeating is not equal to negative 2. So negative 20 over 9 is extraneous. So the only solution is x equals 4. Perfect. Let's have that marinate there. And that bar over the 3's means repeating. If you need math help, text 559-744-3169 for services. Thank you so much. And don't forget to donate to support the channel. And here are the other ways to donate. Thank you so much, and let's learn math together.